It came together in 1964, at a time when America was going through a myriad of changes. Some changes were cultural. Others, far more important, would cast shadows for a long time. It was in this setting, some 40 years ago, that the Colorado Sports Hall of Fame was born. Remember, this was a time when sports didn't hold the mainstream sway it holds today. College athletics were certainly popular, but primarily with alumni. Pro sports were light years from what we see today. Professionally, Colorado had minor league baseball, and what many considered minor league football in the early days of the AFL. Still, it was in these times that the Denver Chamber of Commerce and the right people in the right places decided that it was time for the state to recognize a rich, growing sports history and culture. The first class, inducted in 1965, said a lot about the long overdue nature of this new hall. Jack Dempsey, Dutch Clark, and Whizzer White. Men who had established their athletic legends in the 20s and 30s. The Roaring 20s and the ensuing Depression were times made for these three. Tough and determined, they slugged and ran their way into the headlines. With this stellar first class, the Colorado Sports Hall of Fame not only was on its way, but it also had its mandate to try to live up to the standards set in 1965. In its first 10 years, the Hall welcomed many who graced the state with their brilliance, skill, and accomplishment. Football and basketball stars from college and the pros. Olympic heroes as well. And perhaps the greatest female athlete ever.
She won 2 gold medals with astonishing performance. Golf was the favorite sport of the world's greatest woman athlete.
They all were called to the Hall between 1965 and 1974. Between 1975 and 1984, the likes of David Thompson and John Elway became part of the sporting fabric of Colorado. Those 10 years saw the face of Colorado sports change. The Broncos seemed to grow larger with their long-awaited success. The love affair between the fans and the team forever changed the way Colorado would watch sports. It was in these second 10 years that the Hall of Fame started to honor the Broncos prominently, from the man who kept the franchise afloat to some of the greatest players ever to wear the orange and blue.
Number 44 left unforgettable memories of a fabulously gifted athlete.
This decade also saw many college legends recognized. From those who called the shots, to those who made those shots pay off. The third decade, and the installation of more heralded and deserving contributors to Colorado sports, including the induction of two of the most prolific scorers in the history of professional basketball. This group also brought in some of the most revered coaches and leaders in Colorado sports history.
Hey, I wonder if they believe we're for real now. Huh? Well, I guarantee you we're for real.
For the Broncos, it was time to recognize some of the franchise's most memorable performers, the M&M connection. The leaders of the Orange Crush defense. It was in the time from 1984 to 1995 that some of Colorado's most famous sports moments took place. CU's National College Football Championship, led by a man who would later take up residence in the Hall.
The offense swung on a fly ball to left field and deep. That one's going way back, and kissing goodbye!
And the baseball dream that few dared to imagine.
Eric Young, the first man to bat for the Colorado Rockies in Mile High Stadium, has brought this crowd to its feet.
Major League Baseball in the Rocky Mountains. These past 10 years have seen Colorado sports take off. New arenas for every major pro sports franchise. The return of the NHL.
Colorado has its first Major League title.
Super Bowl championships.
And you got the world champions that live in your town.
This one's for John.
A heyday, the likes of which may never be repeated. This exponential growth was also reflected in those inducted into the Hall in the last decade. From characters whose personalities were as memorable as their accomplishments. To those whose character was as memorable as their abilities.
You want to tell me the 47-year-old man doesn't want to win this game?
Women who wowed the world with their Olympic accomplishments. And men whose size belied their toughness and talent.
That day has won a lot of races in his career.
won some of the most prestigious titles in the world.
Yes.
And the coaching wheel, as always, has remained in motion. Among the biggest highlights, in 2007, the World Series came to our state for the first time. To get there, the Rockies went on one of the most amazing runs in baseball history, winning 21 out of 22 games to shock the world and win the right to play in the Fall Classic. The Colorado Rapids weren't much of a blip on the radar either, until 2010, when their run ended with them hoisting the MLS Championship trophy. The past decade saw Joe Sakic go from Hall of Fame player to the man calling the shots for the Avalanche.
You know, helping lead this team to a championship one day.
One of his biggest moves was asking his former teammate, Patrick Waugh, to return to the Avs as head coach. A similar story from Dove Valley. John Elway, the executive, has steered the Broncos back into the NFL's upper echelon.
We're going Plan A.
His recruitment of Peyton Manning changed the course of Broncos history, and the NFL record book has taken a beating at the hands of the Broncos quarterback. Colorado is also home to one of the biggest sports stars in the world in the past decade.
Missy Franklin with a prototype swimmer's
First, just the swimming world knew of this young Rocky Mountain phenom. But it wasn't long before Missy Franklin was one of the most recognizable athletes anywhere. Of course, 2012 was predicted to be a year of triumph for Missy, and she did not disappoint.
She has arrived!
She set world records, won 4 Olympic gold medals, and was named the World Swimmer of the Year.
Missy Franklin, better than advertised.
So we capped 50 years saluting not only those who were inducted, but all of the people who helped build Colorado's athletic legacy.